Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. I have been learning many of your requests. I've had loads of requests for songs, so thank you very much. Most of them I don't know, so I'm learning those in the hope that I can play them well enough to teach you guys how to play them as well. So bear with me, they will come. If you've requested it, it will be on this channel. Yeah, it will. Today I'm going to be doing a troubleshooting video. I've had a few comments from people asking specific questions on how to get the best out of their whistle. I have a guy, hello, who's a beginner, who didn't know if he was blowing too hard or too soft or if he was doing something wrong. So I thought I'd do a troubleshooting video today because all of us at some point have come across some sort of trouble with a tin whistle or a low whistle. So yeah. Hopefully I'm going to clear up a few things for you guys. I'm using a Clark Sweet Tone in the key of D, and I'm using a generation whistle in the key of C. I gave my D generation to my niece, who picked it up really, really quickly. So I promised her an even better whistle if she learns a few tunes. So you guys will have to put up with a C from generation from me today. Now, one of the first things people struggle with is how to position their fingers on the whistle. Generally, you need your left hand on top and your right hand on the bottom. You use the first 3 fingers of each hand and you hold it with your thumbs at the back. Now, you don't want to be using the tips of your fingers like this with curly fingers. You want to be using the pads of your fingers with flat fingers. Now this ensures that the majority of the hole is covered. So if you blow a whistle and you get a kind of breaking note, there are quite a few ways that you can try and rectify that. One of the reasons is usually because you're not covering a hole properly and a little bit of air is seeping out of the hole. So if you've got the pads of your fingers on and your fingers flat, you usually get quite a good run. If you don't have everything covered, you get that kind of noise, which isn't quite so good. So for example, if I slightly uncover one of the holes further up, okay, so first and foremost, make sure you've got all the holes covered. You don't need to push down really, really hard, but they do need to be covered. So if you have got cracking notes anywhere, it's likely that a bit of air is escaping from somewhere else on the whistle. It could be that you haven't warmed your whistle up. Now, to warm up a whistle, especially the tin whistles, any metal whistle, you need to cover the front hole on the mouthpiece with your finger, completely cover it, and blow through the top hole on the mouthpiece. What this does is pushes warm air through the whistle, and if you hold that now, you can feel it. I can feel the warm air already. So blow through it quite a few times to get it warmed up. Once you've warmed up your whistle, it will play more in tune, it will play more smoothly, it will sound a lot better. Moisture. Now, with whistles, especially the metal whistles and even the plastic whistles and the wooden whistles and any wood instrument you blow, moisture builds up on the inside. So when you blow air through, your air is wet and warm and yeah, you get moisture. Now, to remove moisture from the top of the whistle, the recommendation is to give it a few sharp sort of flicks. It's quite fun. This makes the air in the top of the whistle fly out all over the room and all over the people watching you. So yeah, make sure you kind of do that carefully. Aim carefully. This will get rid of any moisture that's trapped in the top. For moisture further down, this isn't usually as much of an issue. It's only something you need to remove at the end when you've finished playing to stop your whistle rusting and deteriorating. So yeah. If it's cracking a little bit, if it's not playing right, if it sounds off, could be because your mouthpiece or your whistle is full of spit. Nice. So give it a few shakes. Now you might be blowing too hard. If you blow too hard and you're trying to get a lower octave note, what you might do is try and push the whistle into the upper octave. Because on a tin whistle, you need to blow quite softly to get your first set of notes, your lower octave. And if you want to go higher, you need to put the same fingering down but blow harder. So, if you're blowing too hard, you're likely to break the note from the lower octave into the upper octave. And you'll get that cracking sound, it won't sound pure, it won't sound nice. So, that might be one of your problems. Best thing to do is blow as softly as possible. And more often than not, you'll hit your bottom note immediately. Depending on your whistle, you might find that you need a lot more breath to go up the octave, or you might find you only need a little bit. So, for good practice, try practicing blowing low on your C or D, whichever your bottom note is. Blow gently for the low notes. And then blow hard for the high notes. That'll give you an idea of how much breath you need to be putting in for your octaves. Now, don't forget, as you go further up, especially in the higher notes on the higher octave, you need to blow harder the further you go up. So, if you start from D and you don't blow hard enough, or C, you'll get this. And I've gone back down for the top notes. So make sure you've got a lot of breath and a lot of pressure when you get in right up to your top notes. Beginners often tend to just simply blow into the whistle like this. As you can hear, it sounds awful. This will put a lot of people off. Now, a technique that can make your whistle playing sound amazing straight away is called tonguing. Innuendos aside, this simply means using your tongue to separate the air that comes out of your mouth and goes into the whistle. So, it's like saying toot 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 into the whistle, toot 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 toot. Okay, so you're using your tongue, just like you're saying to break up. So you're kind of going into the whistle. And you'll find that gives you a cleaner note. Now, it might be that your whistle is harboring some sort of dirt around the finger holes, in the mouthpiece, throughout the bore. So it may be that your whistle needs a good clean. You can clean your whistle with hot soapy water. I do have a video dedicated to this. You guys can find it in the description below, unless I can make it pop up on screen, but I don't know how to do that. So probably in the description below. Giving your whistle a good clean will definitely make it sound a lot clearer and a lot better. Now, some whistles have plastic mouthpieces like this. Other whistles simply are flattened off at the top of the pipe on an angle, and they have a wooden block or plastic block inside. Now, different mouthpieces can cause different problems with your whistle. If you're not used to blowing through the mouthpiece, then you might find that you don't get the right sound. Depending on where you hold your whistle and how you blow into the mouthpiece can change the tone of the whistle. So if you blow in too shallow, or you blow in too deep, it will affect the amount of moisture that builds up in your whistle. So you can play it out to the side. Some people do. Or you can play it straight. But you need to find the right positioning for your mouth. You don't want to have this too far in your mouth. so you're affecting your play, and you don't have it too far out that you've got air escaping the top. So, don't bite it, don't grab it, let it sit just inside your lips. Now it might be that a whistle you've purchased still has some debris from the manufacture process on the inside. With the plastic tops, a lot of them are glued on, so there might be glue, excess glue on the inside, which is causing that sound to waver. So you might find there's little bits of plastic left over here and there that haven't quite been trimmed away or cleaned away. Sometimes they can impair the sound as well. With the body of your whistle, there can be leftover small particles of metal on the inside, and this can cause that sort of raspy sound that you sometimes hear with your whistle. So, if you have a cheap whistle and you've tried everything else, then you can get out the sandpaper. Now, be very careful. If you have an expensive instrument or one that you can't afford to replace, I would not recommend sandpapering the inside of your whistle. But if you've tried everything else and you've got a cheap whistle and you just want to try it, I'd recommend very, very gently looking on the inside of your whistle, seeing if there appears to be any excess, any debris, and taking very fine sandpaper and very, very, very gently sanding around the inside. Now bear in mind that this can scratch the inside of your whistle and impair the sound even further. So please, please, please make sure that you've ruled out everything else before you take any sandpaper to your whistle. Also, sometimes you can soak them in warm water and remove the mouthpiece, which removes any excess glue, and you can simply slot it back on, but you might find the seal isn't particularly tight, so you might have air leaking out from the top. So you need to be really, really careful if you're going to modify your whistle in any way. But having said that, I have tried this on a D-generation whistle. I've taken the top off, I've cleaned the inside of the top, I've sanded away a little bit of excess glue, a little bit of excess plastic. I've even sanded the inside of one of my generation whistles. It did improve the sound slightly, but the whistle itself still cracks and breaks. So sometimes, once you've tried everything, you've still just got a rubbish whistle. But it doesn't happen very often. So try everything. If you've tried everything, then try another whistle. Maybe another one of the same brand, or maybe one of a different brand. Just don't give up, because there are great whistles out there and there are answers to all of your whistle playing problems. So that is it from me and this video. Hope you guys liked it. If you do have any other problems with your whistles and you need some advice on how to fix them, let me know in the comments. I will do my best to find out and give you guys some answers. Now, as I said, I will be accommodating all your requests. I say all. I'll be accommodating them all. So keep an eye out for tutorials and more videos as well. Yeah, thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.